So in the game Halo 3, there's a secret pelican that houses a hidden character that houses a hidden cutscene room all in one. And the game developers put it so far out of the map that they didn't expect anybody to ever get to it. So can we? Let's give it a shot! So in Halo 3, every single cutscene that you see is rendered in-game. This means that characters that you wouldn't otherwise be able to see normally are located somewhere on the map when cutscenes are occurring. But the thing is, Bungie did a really good job hiding a lot of these rooms and characters. And on the mission Crow's Nest, they did an amazing job putting this pelican thousands of feet outside the map barrier, and to make it even worse, they decided to suspend it 100 feet in the air, so there's not really a way to get to it. Oh, and it's completely outside of the map, so you would have to somehow break the map barrier to get here anyways. Basically, we are going to get to a hidden character and a hidden pelican that's located in a hidden cutscene room. This is one of my favorite glitches slash tricks slash Easter eggs of all time. I think Crow's Nest is the best map for glitches in this game. I always go the wrong way there every single time for 17 years now. Halo 3's been out for 17 years. That's insane. Okay, so for our first step, you are going to see a familiar item. That is, if you've ever played Halo 3. If you are aware of the Warthog on Crow's Nest that gets destroyed every single time, we are going to actually launch on top of the Pelican way outside of the map. We're going to use this Warthog to launch up to the Pelican outside of the map, but I need to get it all the way to the carrier and outside of the map, which, you know, it is probably going to take a while. So in order to do this trick, we need to activate 3 separate skulls, which I'm going to explain now. The first one is the Bandanna skull. This gives you infinite ammo and gives me the ability to throw as many grenades at this Warthog as I like. This way, I don't constantly have to be searching for grenades, and I can move this Warthog through the mission more expeditiously. The second is the tilt skull. So the tilt skull actually makes vehicles invincible, essentially, and in this case, we're not actually using an intact vehicle. So why do we need it? Well, when the tilt skull is combined with the Cowbell skull, you can launch really high distances using just a Warthog and a plasma grenade. The Cowbell skull accelerates explosions and makes you have more force impact when the explosion is actually occurring. The tilt skull enables you to not get killed by the Warthog when this happens. But before we even worry about that part, we need to first focus on getting this Warthog through these tight hallways and outside of the carrier. The most efficient way to move a Warthog is to tilt it upside down and set it at a 45-degree angle through each small doorway. But it takes a lot of time. As Miley Cyrus said, it's not about how fast you get there, and it's not about what is waiting on the other side, it's the climb. Or was that Hannah Montana? I don't really care. This 45-degree method is the most surefire. You just got to kind of line it up, punch it through. We're bringing a chair through a doorway that's too small. I don't know what I'm talking about. Does Wayfair sell children? I could see it. Okay, I'm beating it off. On. I'm through. Okay, so now that I've successfully pushed this Warthog all the way through the main carrier, I need to hurry up and get this Warthog launched outside of the carrier and down to the Pelican. The reason that I need to hurry is because my ride outside of the map barrier is one of the Phantoms, and once that Phantom leaves, I can no longer get outside of the map any longer. So basically, this means that every single time I mess this up and don't go fast enough, I need to revert to the last checkpoint so that I can ensure that I get the Warthog outside of the carrier before the next checkpoint hits. Because if I have the Warthog stuck in the carrier with the next checkpoint, I won't be able to do this at all. Oh. There's no way that didn't make it down. Absolutely no way. So now that we've gotten the Warthog successfully outside of the carrier, we need to get onto an incoming Phantom and ride it outside of the map. But before we do this, we need to pick up a deployable cover from inside the carrier. We are going to use this deployable cover later to ride down a sheer cliff face as if we were surfing. Okay, if I'm remembering correctly, I have to stand on this exact yellow pillar right here. Oh, nope, I'm wrong. So in order to get out of the map, you need to wait for the last and final of the 3 Phantoms to come into the carrier. Okay, you guys just back up and jump in that situation. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold against this Phantom, and then as it's going out, once I get jerked off to one of the sides, I'm gonna get on it. Right there. Boom. And then it's going to fall to the ground. So these phantoms are scripted to disappear after they cross a map barrier once they exit the carrier. Because we are actually on the turret of the phantom, the game developers can't just make our player disappear. So we become the only reason that the phantom stays in the game. And once it hits the point where it's normally scripted to completely disappear, it instead drops into the map hundreds of feet. Boom, there we go. I'm falling out of the phantom. And because you're on the turret, you can't actually die from this fall. You're going to see there's this very thick layer of fog. As you go further down this cliffside, you can see that's the hangar we actually just came from. And you can see the Covenant carrier, they actually only modeled in half of it because they didn't think you'd be able to get outside of the map. So from the doorway and the carrier, you can't see the other side. Fun little fact for you. Okay, so remember when I was talking about how we'd have to surf down with the deployable cover earlier? We're to that part. And this part is not easy at all. We have two very, very steep, almost vertical cliff faces, and the only way to get to the bottom of the map where the Pelican is located is by riding a deployable cover down both of these cliff faces without dying. But the drop is hundreds of feet, so if you mess up any single part of this, you will die without fail. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to line up in this exact spot. This is probably the only thing you'll ever use a deployable cover slide for, but kind of like that, and then you kind of go like that, and then you kind of go like that, and then you got to juggle it. And then I made it on my first fucking try. Are you kidding me? And the Warthog's right there. Wow. Doesn't get much easier than that, guys. I'm not even kidding you. From the first time I ever attempted that to the time that I actually did that for the first time, seriously, probably was 5 hours. Dude, that was actually insane. You guys don't understand how hard that actually is. So now that we've successfully made it to the bottom of the map and our Warthog is down here, fortunately, we now have to move our Warthog into position under the Pelican. We need to get into the back doorway of the Pelican, which appears to be closed, but isn't actually. Using a plasma grenade, we needed to stick the back bumper of the Warthog and hope that we get launched in the perfect trajectory to get in the very small doorway. That looks about right, I think. But I need to have Layer 2 go back through the mission and get a checkpoint. I need to be lined up perfectly in line so my left arm is throwing a plasma grenade at the bumper and it's sticking to the top of it. This will then launch me up because I have the tilt and cowbell skull. Hopefully not too far though, because I need to get in the actual doorway. And there's this weird invisible barrier right outside of it. So there's only a little gap that I have to crouch into. Okay, checkpoint done. I'm getting too much height. I just need this launch to be like kind of just slightly bad. It's kind of like blind shooting. Ooh, that one was close. I mean, I'm going flying, just not the right direction. Okay, I'm just trying different spots of throwing the same grenade. Oh, I'm sucking. So after 30 minutes and over 100 attempts, I was not close to getting in this Pelican door. I just couldn't get the right height. And I figured there has to be an easier way. I gotta go get a deployable cover and do this again. I don't want to be freaking... It's just easier if I get a deployable cover and launch it side of the map. So instead of trying to land in the door with only a Warthog launch, I decided to change my strategy entirely. I thought it would be a lot easier if I were to just use the Warthog to launch on the top of the Pelican and then use a deployable cover to jump off of to then get in the door. But the problem with this is it requires 2 deployable covers, and I only have 2 players, and one player has to stay in the map while the other gets outside of the map barrier. And to make things even worse, equipment in Halo 3 is not really that movable, so you can move it with objects and other things, but normally you would just be able to drop something off the side of the carrier ledge and it should bounce to the bottom. Not the case with deployable covers because they're flat and wide and heavy, and the ledge underneath is relatively flat, so it has nowhere to bounce to. So to remedy this, I decided to go MacGyver with it. I was going to set up a box with multiple explosives and then put the deployable cover on top of the box, thus launching the equipment far enough outside of the map that it bounces down to the bottom of the map where the Pelican is. So 30 minutes later, I had everything set up again and I was ready for the moment of truth. This is the moment of truth. Can this work? Absolutely. Okay, I might have it on this one. I think I do. Boom! It's right there. Just as it was planned. Easy money. Okay, you know what they say, 5th time's a charm. The Warthog is actually almost in complete perfect position this time though. So now that we have everything set up, all that we have to do is land on this Pelican and then we're on our final step. Oh yeah, Vector! Wow, really? I have no bumper this time, so I'm just running off this. I thought this was a good one, but I think I'm just going to miss it. Yep. No! Oh, I think I might just land this. Bam! Okay. Oh, easy. I got this one for sure. Those look like faces. Okay. Easy. Look at these symbols. I'm telling you, these look like faces. This is weird. Okay, so now that we've successfully landed on top of the Pelican, we have just one step left. Throw a deployable cover as we're jumping off of it so that we jump perfectly into the doorway. This is a lot harder than it looks. Yes! Yes! Okay, we're in. We're actually in. There we go. So now that our first player is in the Pelican cutscene room, we need player 2 to proceed through the mission in order to activate the cutscene and spawn in the hidden character. There she is. It's Miranda Keys. She's actually on the screen in the control room right now. You can actually see on the screen room that the player is able to interfere with the cutscene. So the arbiter's here, just on the cam.
Johnson, as soon as the evacuation is complete, start the timer.
Understood.
Good luck, everyone. See you on the last Pelican out.
Isn't that sick? She doesn't say anything in real life.
Chief, Arbiter, follow me.
The hell?